Hi, I'm Brian Bain, Director of Research, Evaluation, and Assessment for the Northwest Regional ESD. Together, Romel Rodriguez Ibarra and I make up a new team at the ESD. Our work is focused around helping teachers and school staff to effectively collect, access, and use data to make decisions. Today, I want to introduce you to ION. ION is a software solution for managing multi-tiered systems of support. In the spring of 2020, we convened about 40 educators from 17 districts and educational agencies around the region. These educators brought a wide variety of experience, from experts in RTI and PBIS to experts in data to those just learning about MTSS systems. After reviewing several software solutions, we selected ION as both a highly rated and affordable solution for Oregon schools. As our department strives to make data available to teachers and to enable data-based decision-making throughout our region, Romel and I will be your first line of support for ION. We'll be creating your initial setup and helping you to customize your data. We'll be providing these training videos as well as directly training your staff with ION. And we'll be the main contact if you need any help accessing or using your data. Please feel free to reach out to us anytime. So what is a multi-tiered system of support? I want to make one thing clear. ION is not a multi-tiered system of support. ION is software which supports a multi-tiered system of support, but it is not an MTSS itself. A multi-tiered system of support is a system collaboratively designed and run by educators to support the students in their school. Let's start with what's meant by support. Support in this case represents the instruction and lessons that teachers and school staff are providing to students. These might be around academic skills like word decoding or fractions, or they could be behavioral like school expectations or self-regulation skills. A strong MTSS system is a framework in which educators have a plan to regularly review how well the instruction they're providing is addressing the needs of their students. This review is conducted at 3 different levels, which is designed to ensure that students don't slip through the cracks. The first level is Tier 1, or core. This level represents the general curriculum, instruction, and lessons provided to all students in the school. This might be a teacher-designed fraction lesson using the manipulatives and language in the adopted textbook. It could be the general expectations around behavior in the cafeteria, which are taught at the beginning of the school year. This is the core instruction that is provided to all students and should meet the needs of nearly all students and groups of students within the school. When this level of support is working effectively, it's serving the needs of at least 80% of students, and these students are said to be in the green zone and have little risk of failing. But education is not a one-size-fits-all endeavor. The core instruction provided in Tier 1 may not be enough to meet the needs of every student. While reviewing data, educators may identify skills they need to help students to develop. In an MTSS approach, educators develop a very intentional plan, often using a menu of evidence-based supports. Reviewing student data and developing these plans is the second level of data review. Educator teams then provide the supports and closely monitor the development of the specific skills in students. The supports might take the form of a small group intervention focused on developing very specific skills, such as number sense, or individual check-ins while developing self-regulation skills. Students at this level are said to be in the yellow zone and have some risk of failing without the development of their skills through these strategic supports. These supports are delivered in addition to the core instruction in Tier 1 and to far fewer students, somewhere between 15 and 20% of students. The third level of data review occurs at the small group and individual student level. While teachers are delivering instruction to support students in specific skills, they will closely monitor the development of those skills using very quick and focused tools. They'll review these data points to ensure that the effort they're putting into supporting students is having the desired effect for the group of students and for each student individually. When educators have attempted multiple student supports with a student and find through their data collection that those supports, while effective for other students, are not as effective for this student, the next step is to further individualize for the student. The team may take an existing Tier 2 support and provide it in a one-on-one basis, or significantly customize it to better fit the student's needs. Students receiving these intensive supports are said to be in the red zone and generally make up no more than 5% of the student population. The ION software can help with the systemic review of data needed at all levels of an educator-led, multi-tiered system of support, but it is not an MTSS. The software doesn't prescribe Tier 1 curriculum or instruction. It doesn't provide students with supports, nor does it even specify assessment instruments. It's simply a tool for organizing information, for facilitating regular data reviews, and for aiding classroom teachers, counselors, and specialists to track the education plans that they've developed for their students. So, I've talked about MTSS as a framework for supports provided by teachers, and sooner or later someone always asks, well, what are these supports? The truth is, the MTSS framework is used in many different educational areas. Each area is filled with an abundance of resources in terms of curriculum, research, and professional practices. As we work together, we can investigate more deeply the research into each. But let me give you a strong starting point for your own independent research and for context. When the MTSS framework is filled with academic or early literacy skills, it's often referred to as response to intervention, or RTI. When the framework is filled with behavior and social emotional skills, it's commonly referred to as positive behavioral intervention and supports, or PBIS. The framework can also be used to address attendance's root causes, which Attendance Works calls Teaching Attendance 2.0. At the middle and high school level, monitoring and addressing student needs in all of the above, attendance, behavior, and course grades is often termed an early warning system, or EWS. In getting started with ION, I found it useful to think about these various implementations of the MTSS framework, which you can see displayed down the left-hand column of this chart. In a school, each of these implementations may be headed up by different staff and different teams. Across the top are the levels of data review, which are critical to a functioning MTSS system: the Tier 1/core review, the support planning review, and the progress monitoring review. This chart describes the types of data you'll find preloaded for your teams in ION for each level of data review. In the next few sections, I'm going to show you how ION can be used within a school system to support a strong, multi-tiered system of support. We'll look at the 3 different levels of data review, as well as how to use the case management tools to quickly and effectively gather data. To access ION, first open a web browser and navigate to app.ion-k12.com. That's app.ion-k12.com. Once there, you can ignore the username and password boxes. We at the ESD have configured your accounts to work with your district Google account. Simply click the Sign In with Google button and select your work Google account. If you don't see your account here, click on Use Another Account and log into your work Google account using your work email address and password. If you're not already logged in, you may be asked to log into your Google account using your email address and password. If you attempt to log in and you're redirected back to the login screen, please try again and ensure that you're choosing your work email account, not your personal email account. If that fails and you're redirected to the login screen again, please contact Romel to get help accessing the system. Once you log into ION, I want to point out some key navigation features. In the top left, you can always click on the ION logo to come back to this page. You'll also find a series of 4 buttons. The green speedometer button goes to the dashboards, which are used for that first layer of data review, the Tier 1 core data reviews. Next to it, the blue chart button goes to data walls, which are used for that second layer of data reviews, support planning for those Tier 2 supports. The third button is a yellow student button. This button takes you directly to the student plans where you can review individual student progress in skill development. We'll go into more depth in all of these buttons in the coming sections. The red question mark button takes you to a help menu. Sometimes this help is specific to the page you're on, so it's often worth clicking if you have general questions. For more specific questions, you can always reach out to Romel or myself. In the top right, you'll see the name of your school. And if you have access to multiple schools, you can click here to select a different school. Just below your school is the Search Students box. Simply begin typing a student's last name into this box, and you'll be able to choose a specific student and jump straight to that student's profile, which is an overview of all the information about the student. You'll notice that this profile is fairly easy to navigate and contains the student's assessments, their attendance, behavior, and grades, as well as many options for keeping shared notes and documents about the student. In the next section, we'll look at the first level of data review in an MTSS system, the school-wide or grade-wide core data review.